Good morning and welcome to Newswatch Today. I'm Elizabeth Fry.
And I'm Michael Gibson. Coming up, a snapshot of the evangelical vote during this election season.
We'll also take a look at a new method of farming.
And Brian's here with your forecast, plus Brock has the latest with your sports news. This is Newswatch Today.
We begin this morning with Brian, who's here with an update on our current weather conditions. You know, Brian, I wasn't sure whether I had to pull out my winter coat or my rain jacket this morning, just with all this crazy weather we've been having.
Absolutely. You know, I looked back at the current conditions from last week, and we were reporting temperatures in the 60s. And this week, we're reporting temperatures in the 40s. There's been such a drastic drop in temperatures compared to the last week to this week. But right now, it's overcast, 47 degrees, a northeast wind of 8 miles an hour, clear visibility, and as always, we have some high humidity at about 86%.
You know, it's not going to be very long until you're going to be saying, you know, you guys, we had a lot of snow this morning versus rain.
I know, the season is coming up. We're not there yet, but we'll be there before long.
Well, let's not rush it. I'm in no hurry at all.
I know, me either.
Well, thanks, Brian. We look forward to your full forecast just a little bit later on. A week after Hurricane Matthew, more than 100,000 children will have no schools to return to. Nearly 300 schools have either been damaged, others have been converted into shelters. In the town of Jeremy, Haiti alone, 30,000 families have been affected, 66,000 houses have been destroyed, and 20,000 houses have been heavily damaged. The death toll now stands at 372 dead.
More drama surrounding an already dramatic few weeks for the banking giant Wells Fargo as they announced Wednesday that their CEO is retiring effective immediately. The move comes amid a growing scandal and uproar at Wells Fargo. Company employees created millions of fake bank and credit card accounts over the years in order to reach sales goals. Some current and former workers say when they complained about the fake accounts and sales goals, they faced harassment and intimidation. Critics say the sales goals were so unrealistic, employees were forced to cheat in order to reach them. Liz, a very unique story there because, you know, those people work hard every single day and could you imagine having to meet those unrealistic goals every single day?
That would be terrible. I'm just glad they were able to catch the guy and get that situation under control.
Yeah, we're glad it was resolved. But first, up next, a look at the upcoming election.
We'll be right back.
We are all born with greatness hidden away inside of us. We have gifts, passions, and purpose waiting to be discovered. When nurtured well, there comes a time when who you are meant to be becomes who you are. And who you are can change the world. Evangel University, the greater you.
One audience member became an instant celebrity after Sunday night's presidential debate. Ken Bone caught everyone's eye with his power outfit that included a red cardigan sweater. However, he says that wearing the sweater was actually his backup plan. Bone's also getting kudos for his cool composure during the otherwise bitter debate as he asked a question about energy policy. Bone later got hundreds of Twitter followers, and someone even created a Facebook page on his behalf. Bone was one of the undecided voters who attended the debate and says that he walked away feeling more confused and more undecided than ever. And now on to Michael to hear what young evangelical voters have to say on the elections. Michael?
Thanks, Liz. Joining me this morning is John Thomas Spence and Michael Tofty to discuss their take on how evangelicals approach the presidential candidates. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So we were talking off camera about how crazy this election has been, and I heard recently Tom Brokaw say that the real loser during this whole presidential election has been the American people because we haven't really been talking about the issues. So I want to ask you this morning, what issues are most important?
A major issue for me would honestly be the question of bipartisan political support. A common refrain that I've heard a lot with especially young voters is that it's too divisive, it's too polarizing. Even if Secretary Clinton wins the nomination, it's highly likely that she might even just get a slight margin of Democrat support in the Senate, or maybe she'll face a complete Republican Congress. But also, if Trump manages to win the election, there's still questions as to how he supports Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, plans today, which he's typically seen as the leader of the Republican Party and the conservative movement today. So the question of whoever is elected will work with the legislative branch and vice versa is really much, I think, is a highly concerning today.
And Paul Ryan recently made some news about retracting his endorsement. Has that actually happened?
It has not yet, but no.
Wow, very interesting. John, what's your opinion on this?
I'm a big anti-war guy. I'd have to say the biggest issue for me that I feel like is really being skirted is America's position in the Middle East. Obviously, you heard Trump during the debate talk about how he was going to destroy ISIS, but I'm interested to see how he would do that. Secretary Clinton is also pretty well known as an individual who has promoted proliferation over there, and I think it's important that we talk about America's position overseas and when we can see our troops pulling out.
Evangelicals are still supporting Donald Trump. Why do you think this is?
There is a higher sense of wanting a pro-life judges, wanting a leader who can continue with a more conservative route, even if he won't implement those policies himself. I'd say that the evangelicals, especially younger evangelicals, will probably be more concerned as to that future more than just how he's acting right now.
John, what's your opinion on this?
Personally, I'm shocked. Yesterday, Dr. James Dobson, who founded Focus on Family, came out and said while he can't condone what Donald Trump said, he also pointed out that it was several years in the past, but then went on to say, he went on to criticize Bill Clinton. Hillary is Bill's wife, and a lot of times we've seen this connection between the two as if what she does is a reflection of what he's done. And honestly, more than anything else, it's frustrating to me that evangelicals have stuck with a candidate who is so blatantly, in my opinion, does not represent Christian values, but I do think probably the biggest thing has to be the pro-life stance. A lot of Christians will, and evangelicals indeed, will not back off of that. And Secretary Clinton has been pretty pro-choice, vocally pro-choice, and Donald Trump has claimed and stated that he will support pro-life, but frankly, I don't see that being the number one issue on his list.
I want to ask this very quickly. Michael, do you think that Hillary Clinton's emails is going to remain a problem with millennials, yes or no?
Yes, I believe.
John?
I think it depends on what continues to be pushed by the media, and also what else Donald Trump has to say later on down the road, or what gets revealed.
Well, thanks so much for being with us this morning, gentlemen. It's sure shaping up to be an interesting election. And Liz, I want to know, who do you want to vote for? Back to you guys.
Michael, I don't know. Honestly, I may have to write Brian in for president.
Oh.
This election has been crazy. I think I'm just going to go with Brian. Brian for president 2016.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much. We're probably going to have to vote for one of the candidates on the ballot. And who that's going to be, who knows? It's a very interesting political season right now.
It's so true.
Yeah, coming up, we'll have your full weather forecast. We'll see if this rain is going to clear away to some sun this weekend. We'll be right back.
Catch all the HD broadcasts of Evangel Sports on EUTV through livestream.com. EUTV features weekly programs like Sports Update and News Watch Today. You can also see award-winning student films from Evangel filmmakers. Evangel University Television broadcasts to Evangel dorms on channels 12 and 35-1. You can also find EUTV on Mediacom Channel 84 in Springfield. And now, EUTV is on livestream.com, broadcasting on the web 24 hours a day. So check it out. Go to livestream.com, enter EUTV in the search box, and click on the EU icon. EUTV, the home of edutainment.
Less than 2,000 square feet. That's the footprint size that Vertical Innovations will need to produce 1 million pounds of lettuce a year. The urban agricultural startup located here in Springfield has taken residence in the MFA grain elevators and silos that have long defined Springfield's downtown skyline. The company does not stray away from bold visions as they hope to harness high-end greenhouse technology to grow pesticide-free lettuce, leafy greens, and eventually mushrooms and seafoods. Contractor Jim Kern says that the silos will create ideal farming conditions and will allow produce to grow year-round. Despite the large quantities of produce expected to be harvested, Vertical Innovations promises to keep Springfield their focus. They say residents can expect to see fresh greens as early as 2017. Michael, that's 1 million pounds of lettuce and 2,000 square feet of space.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
I know.
I'm excited for it though. That'll be awesome for our Springfield community.
I know. That's very exciting. And but winter weather is almost here, and so the farmers, they're having to redo their crops for the next year. Mm-hmm. And whether or not the effects of year-round farming capabilities affect our farmers remains to be seen. But Brian Brecht is here, standing by with our weather forecast this morning. Brian, are there conditions out there that will affect farmers right now?
As a matter of fact, it is looking relatively cold outside, so the farmers do have to start preparing as we head into the colder fall and winter season. But let's take a look once again at the current conditions, just to give you guys a quick check of that. So it is overcast outside right now, right around the high 40s, 47 degrees. Northeast wind of 8 miles an hour, as well as we always have high humidity here in the Ozarks at right around 86% right now. So if the farmers are headed outside, they may want to grab a jacket or something along those lines. For today, the clouds are going to clear away, and it's going to be beautiful right around 63 degrees today, and a light breeze no stronger than about 10 miles an hour. Now for tonight, we will have some clouds, and we do actually have a thunderstorm chance. We have a southeast wind of 8 miles an hour still. The thunderstorm chance tonight is right around 40%, and we do have a hazardous weather warning in effect. There could be some lightning tonight, so be sure to prepare for that. Now let's take a look at the satellite over here. Now the funny thing to me is that there's not a ton of clouds in our area that are going to indicate a thunderstorm. It's mainly this storm system right here that's going to make its way towards our area. And the thunderstorm, again, there's only about a 40% chance of the thunderstorm, but there's not a lot of clouds on our radar, as you can see here, looking specifically right at Missouri. Those clouds that we saw earlier on the satellite are going to come through with some fast-moving winds and give us the possibility of that thunderstorm. As you can see, there's a high pressure system that did make its way through our area that provided us with some great sun, and then a low pressure system following it up, and that is what could bring in that potential thunderstorm, that 40% chance of a thunderstorm. And then for the national highs, it's relatively balanced for our area of the United States. Places always like Arizona, California, Texas, and Florida getting temperatures right around the 80s. But for our area, we're experiencing temperatures right around the 60s for today, as well as places like the Northeast, as well as most of the Midwest and the central U.S. as well. Now let's take a look at the 6-day forecast, and we'll see what the weekend has in store for us. And I'm happy to say that once the low pressure system makes its way out of our area, we're going to have a lot of sun the next couple days. So it's going to be absolutely beautiful for the football game on Saturday, moving into Sunday, and even into next weekend. Temperatures of 81, 85, 82 degrees to start off next week. So next week should be absolutely beautiful to start it off. Just make sure that you prepare for the 40% chance of the thunderstorm tonight, and as well as it being mostly cloudy on Friday moving into tomorrow. Prepare for those as well. That's all I have at Weather Watch. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Michael, I'm glad to see that rain is out of the forecast and we can be expecting some sun a little bit later on this week.
That's right, 80-degree temperatures.
I know. This is Missouri, that's for sure.
That's right.
Well, coming up, mystery tattoos for purchase.
And Brock has details on your Evangel Crusaders, plus more sports news. We'll be right back. Would you be brave enough to get a mystery tattoo? That's a question that 18 lucky Londoners asked themselves when celebrity tattoo artist Scott Campbell offered them a free tattoo with only one condition. They had no say in what it would be. Campbell says the project offers people a chance not to take their physical selves too seriously. All the partakers seemed happy, at least publicly, and let's hope that feeling lasts because this art is forever. Liz, I would never get a tattoo that I didn't have any say in.
No, definitely not. A tattoo is a huge decision that's on your body permanently for forever. But you know what? At least they're happy with it.
At least they're happy. And they all were actually really happy. And you know, the tattoo artist, he's done so many different celebrity tattoos, so I'm sure it was an honor at the same time
definitely.
to get a tattoo from him.
Definitely. Well, now we have Brock standing by with the rest of our sports news. Brock?
Thanks, Elizabeth. You know, it was a lack of offense that was the demise for both the men's and women's soccer teams on Tuesday as they concluded their fall break by being shut out by the 7th-ranked team in the country, Baker. Neither team was able to muster more than 5 shots on goal and were outscored by a total of 10 goals to none. These games marked the first time the Crusaders played at Coryell Field since September 27th. They continue their homestand this Saturday when they take on Clark, with the women's game starting at 1:30 and the men's at 3:30. For the first time all season, the Crusaders cross-country teams had top 5 finishes in both the men's and women's competitions. This happened at the Midwest Cross Country Invitational last weekend. Leslie Perona finished 4th with a time of 19 minutes and 26.31 seconds in the women's race, while leader of the men's team, Devin Colgrove, finished 3rd with a time of 27 minutes and 31.57 seconds. Yoselin Robles and Trevor Edict both finished 7th in their respective races, giving Evangel the most top 10 finishers they've had in an event this season. The Crusaders will take a weekend off before they travel to St. Louis on homecoming to compete in the St. Louis Fall Cross Country Classic at Forest Park. On to some high school football news, and get this, a high school football player from Laurel, Mississippi made history over the weekend after becoming what is believed to be the first female athlete to score a touchdown in varsity football play in Mississippi. Kendall Breland, who is normally a defensive tackle, got her number called at the running back position with her team up 7-0 in the first quarter. Breland received the ball at the 1-yard line and plowed into the end zone behind her biggest blocker. Her team went on to win their 5th straight matchup 61-14, but the victory seemed to have been overshadowed by Breland's amazing accomplishment, which is sure to be seen as a victory for women everywhere. On to some postseason baseball action. After 1 week of postseason baseball, we already have 3 of our 4 championship series teams decided, with the 4th to be determined tonight. The Indians swept the Red Sox and the Blue Jays swept the Rangers in the 2 ALDS series, and the Cubs squeaked past the Giants after scoring 4 runs in the 9th inning of Game 4 of their NLDS series, which leaves us with the Nationals and the Dodgers left. Their game is scheduled to play tonight, their 5th game of their Game of 5 series. After allowing Washington to take a 2-1 series lead and score 3 runs in the 7th inning of Game 4, the Dodgers were on the brink of elimination. That is, until Chase Utley scored Andrew Tolles on a ground ball to right field to break the tie and force a Game 5. The winner-take-all game will be played tonight at 7 o'clock at Nationals Park. And that wraps up Sports Watch. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brock. You know, I don't know who's going to win the game tonight, but I do know that my Cubs have it in the bag.
That's right.
For sure.
And you must be so excited because Liz is from Chicago, and I'm sure you're going to be doing some kind of watching party.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I'll definitely be taking a day off when they win it all. Well, up next, we'll get a final look at Brian's forecast.
And we'll hear about a new alpaca farm in Montana. We'll be right back.
We all have a need to experience life with others, to not be just another face in the crowd, but to have a small community we can call family. We need to receive individual guidance from the wise and be sharpened by those we live with from day to day. We treasure the traditions of those who have gone before us and form lasting friendships with those who cross our path, knowing that the skills, the memories, and the relationships we formed will journey with us, no matter where we go. Evangel University.
Do you know what alpacas are? They might be few and far between here in the Ozarks, but imagine a friendly, furry-like camel that you just can't help but pet. And as some 7,000 people at a farm in Montana this weekend found out, they're also really fun. People got hands-on experience as they were allowed to touch and take photos with them. And not only are these animals a rare sight, but also an expensive one. Alpacas can range from $100 to $20,000 depending on age, size, and gender. Alpacas are originally from South America. They were brought to the U.S. in the 1980s and now live at places across the nation. You guys, I can honestly say I have never once touched an alpaca before.
I haven't either, but you know, I think that's one of my new goals now. That's on my bucket list.
Right on top of the bucket
Right
list.
on top. It's number one.
But how about $20,000?
That's crazy. That is so expensive.
Because alpaca wool is very, very highly desired as far as the making of socks and other things like that.
Yeah, and you know, I know because their fur, I guess, is really soft, and so it's this high quality.
Maybe that's what my socks are made out of. I have fuzzy socks on right now, actually.
I want an alpaca suit to wear.
Yeah,
it's super comfortable.
Tailor-made just for you, Michael.
You may need it with the weather we've been having, actually.
That's right, Brian. Some cold temperatures.
Absolutely. A quick reminder of the 6-day forecast specifically. We're going to have a 40% chance of a thunderstorm tonight with some clouds on Friday. And then those should clear away, and we'll have some beautiful temperatures on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Temperatures in the high 80s.
Welcome to Missouri.
Welcome to Missouri. You never know what you're going to get here. I never know what I'm going to say every morning.
That's right.
I never know.
But that must be exciting for a weather guy.
Oh, it is. It keeps me on my toes.
That's right. And shorts and sandals weather yet still coming up, Brian.
Oh, always shorts and sandals weather.
Michael always has something to say about that.
Always.
Can't
always.
escape it.
Well, that concludes our show for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Fry.
I'm Michael Gibson.
And I'm Brian Ebrecht. Join us next week.